Good evening from Warren Wilson College on a 52-degree cloudy night outside or inside DeVries Gym. Basketball time today on the Owl Sports Network. Today, Johnson University comes to town to take on your Warren Wilson Owls. Hi, everybody. Be back with you here tonight. Start of a back-to-back for Warren Wilson as they'll host Mid-Atlantic Christian tomorrow. But business tonight first as the Royals come in at 6-3. Let's meet the starting lineup for Johnson University. Head coach Doug Carnes. He'll start this way. At one guard, number 5, Lauren Hensley, 5'9", freshman from Knoxville. At another guard, it's number 10, Kaylee Carter, a junior, 5'5". And the other guard, number 32, Tiffany Smelser, a sophomore, 5'7", from Newport, Tennessee. Starting up front for the Royals, number 21, Ashley Rawls, senior, 6 foot, out of Muncie, Indiana. And number 42, Taylor Baham, a sophomore, 5'11", from Savannah, Georgia. Now let's meet the starters for your Warren Wilson Owls, who come in today 3-5. Head coach Robin Martin, 12-17 in her second season. First with the Owls, she'll start number 32, Jacina Hall, senior, 5'3", from Jacksonville, North Carolina. At the other guard, number 4, Tashay Glenn, junior, 5'5", from Charlotte, North Carolina. And the other guard, number 12, Keela McCurry, freshman, 5'6", from Arden, North Carolina. Up front for Warren Wilson today, number 0, Tashi Oglesby, senior, 5'8", from Cheverly, Maryland. And number 13, Sasha Miller, a junior, 5'8", from Rockport, Massachusetts. So that's the starting 5 for both of these teams. Johnson University, good start to the season for them at 6-3, an NCCA Division II member. Meanwhile, the Owls looking to go 3-1 here at home after falling to Columbia International on Tuesday. Hirshima, glad to be back with you. Thanks to a few of you who sent well wishes. I'm about 75% back, so the voice may peter out on me at time to time during the game, but I appreciate the well wishes. And big thanks to Marky Bilson, who filled in for me on Tuesday. Marky came down from Tennessee to do that game for us, and we certainly appreciate that. So Oglesby the tip-it with Rawls, and it's controlled by the Owls, who are in the white and move from right to left on your screens and tablets. So Warren Wilson coming in. Their first home loss on Tuesday. Jacina Hall, whose birthday was on Tuesday, played big minutes. As she has the ball, drives into the lane. Scoop shot no good, and that's going to go out of bounds. The Royals will let it go out. So Johnson University will get it as Hall misses her first. Trapping pressure shown by the Owls. It's Carter into the forecourt for the Royals. Bounce passes it to Hensley on the left. Hensley goes cross court. Smelser. These two teams split the home and home last year with both teams winning at home. Now here's a steal by Glenn. She'll glide in to Shea Glenn with the first 2 points of the ball game. Again, trapping pressure. Carter. McCurry on her, as is Oglesby. Carter gets it into the forecourt, and she is bumped. So the first foul of the game belongs to Warren Wilson, and it goes on Tashi Oglesby. Fresh 30 for the Royals. Johnson University coming off a 17-point loss to Bob Jones. Here's Smelser, corner 3, no good. Miller had position for the rebound and gets it on the bounce out to McCurry. McCurry into the forecourt now for the Owls. It's to Glenn. Glenn between the circles with it, guarded by Smelser. Now here's Hall. Jacina Hall. It's it to Oglesby on the left side. McCurry. It's it to Glenn. Glenn open 3, a little bit long on it. Chase for the rebound. Diving for it is Hall, but it goes out of bounds. So A for effort for Jacina there. Jacina Hall, 19 rebounds in the last 2 games. She had a double-double against Columbia International, the very first of her career. Well, I went back over the last 3 years anyways. I'm not sure about her freshman year, but it's a safe bet to say that that double-double on Tuesday was likely the first of her career. So the Royals looking to get on the board here a couple of minutes into the ball game. Carter on the left wing. It's to Hensley between the circles. Throws right wing to Smelser. Smelser looking for Bayham. Turnaround hook shot, no good, and there she is with her first rebound here tonight. It's Jacina Hall. Toss out to McCurry, open three, off the back of the rim, no good, and what do we got here? It was Hall and Carter battling for position, and they get Carter on the foul, so the Owls will get an extra possession here. Hall to inbound it now, left of the bucket. Skies it for McCurry, who will set up the offense. It's to Oglesby on the left. There's Sasha Miller. Quick pass to McCurry in the corner. Right back to Sasha. Now Hall between the circles. Gets it to the cutter. Glenn out on the wing. Oglesby catch and shoot three. That might have been blocked. Carter comes up with it. Carter looking to push now. Carter dumps it off. Nice pass by Carter to Rawls, who lays it up and in. And we're even at 2. Carter came in, 3.1 assists per night. Gets her first as the Royals get their first bucket. So Hall top of the key now for the Owls. Hall goes around the defender, scoops it off the glass and in. The signature move that we've seen all year long for Jacina as she puts the Owls back on top. Good news for the Owls today. Lilvia Bradbury is back. She's getting ready to check in, although she is going to play limited minutes, probably for the first several games. Hensley lost it. Hall comes up with the steal. Jacina Hall will bring it across the timeline into the forecourt. Swings it over to Glenn on the left. Fakes the three. Smelser didn't bite, though. Now out to Hall. All day from downtown and buries it. Jacina Hall, 5 points. The Owls a 5-point lead at 7-2. 16-19 left to go here in the first half. Royals looking to get something going on this end now. Carter top of the key. Swings it over to Hensley on the left. Hensley right back to Carter. Carter. Smelser had to save it. Right back to Carter. Good footwork by Smelser. Bayham looking to make the pass. Forced it, and Oglesby comes up with the steal. Here comes Warren Wilson now up by 5. Jacina Hall into the forecourt. Looking to get a screen, maybe roll for Miller. Instead, out to Glenn on the left wing. Glenn floats it up at the free throw stripe. Not a good shot there. Smelser collects the rebound, so she'll bring it up. Toss to Bayham, right of the lane. Takes it baseline, fires it, an air ball. McCurry's got the rebound. Talk about good rebounding guards as McCurry threw it away. Hensley comes up with the steal. Bounce pass is deflected, taken away by Sasha Miller. Keelan McCurry is averaging over 5 rebounds per game. Her combined with Hall averaging 10.3 rebounds. And they are 5'5" and 5'6". It does my short heart good to see that. Here's Miller right at the lane. Jumper, no, off the rim. Rebound by Hensley. So Johnson, cold at the start, also turning the ball over a lot. That ball's tipped, and another steal. Talk about the defense for the Owls. Glenn wasn't ready for the pass, but she's got plenty of time to recover as Carter couldn't get the steal. Carter was off balance. Here's Hall top of the key to McCurry on the right. Sasha Miller on the baseline. Here's Oglesby right post. As Oglesby's pass tipped by Carter, McCurry stays with it. Able to deflect it out to Hall on the left. Hall out to McCurry. Corner three. It's good. And it's all Warren Wilson at the start here. 10-2. Timeout Doug Carnes and Johnson University. Well, while we have a timeout here, I know that there's the kids. We promise we've been trying to do this all year long because Robin Martin's husband couldn't be here because he's still coaching football in Philadelphia right now, so he wants to see the kids. So we got the kids up. All right, nice job, guys. So there's the kids. All right, we're going to step aside. That was for you, Coach. Ball as well in Philly. Bring some cheesesteaks down when you come down, please. We certainly would appreciate that. We're going to step aside. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Well, there's a look at the upcoming broadcast schedule, folks. If my voice is still with me tomorrow, I'll be here for the women taking on MacU. And the men facing Bob Jones on Monday. Tuesday, it's the ladies against Toccoa Falls. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you here at Warren Wilson. Right now, it's all Owls, 10-2. Carter, another steal by Warren Wilson as McCurry comes up with it. 6 steals against Welsh a couple of weekends ago. So the Owls get it in the forecourt now. 6 turnovers for Johnson. And the Owls have 6 steals. So Lilvia Bradbury checks in, kicks it out. 3 ball no good by Jacina Hall. And it's good to see Lil back out there. Bradbury missing the last 3 games, but the Owls thought it would be a lot longer than that. Bradbury played in the first 5 games for Warren Wilson. Here's Smelser from downtown, off the back of the rim, no good. Carter collects the rebound. Smelser up top. Back to Carter. Carter catch and shoot 3 off the back of the rim, no good. Jacina Hall with the rebound. McCurry throws it to Glenn in the forecourt. Lindsey Bodners came in, was running the floor looking for the ball. Good job by Johnson to get back on defense, though. And the Royals deflected out of bounds. So Bradbury, Lindsey Bodner up front. Same backcourt for the Owls. Glenn McCurry and Jacina Hall. Here's Bodner. Strip blocked by Rawls. Bradbury there to put it up and in. So Bradbury looking good, running the floor well. She is on limited minutes, though, folks, so she won't play a whole heck of a lot right now. Carter, floater in the lane, just can't get the roll. Carter, offensive rebounder second, strong off the glass, and she's fouled. This time, actually, she commits the foul, I should say, on the reach, on the rebound. So Warren Wilson leading it 12-2, and the Royals are going to send in a fresh set of players and try to get back in this ball game. Whitney Moore coming in. Also checking in, Ashley Evans, Hannah Brewer, Julie Cheney, and I believe Lori Morgan is the other player. So Hall into the forecourt for the Owls, who are looking good here. Hall on the right wing, cut off. Throws to Bodner in the corner. Bodner takes it baseline, scoops it to Bradbury. Shot no good. Rebound controlled by Brewer. And here come the Royals. Royals almost 8 minutes in, just 2 points. Here's Cheney. Corner baseline jumper, no good. Glenn with the rebound. Glenn looking to push. Again, the Royals get back on defense, though. Shea will back it out. Hall, top of the key. Bodner on the left, guarded by Moore. Lindsay takes it left of the lane, lost the dribble, and Brewer comes up with the steal. Brewer scoops it to Morgan. Morgan between the circles. Left wing to Brewer. Now back to Morgan. Brewer this time goes left side. Good ball movement here by Johnson. Morgan. Bounce pass to Evans. Turnaround shot is short. Evans trying to get the rebound back, but fumbled it out of bounds. So Johnson University right now is just 1 out of 9 from the field. Brogan O'Brien coming in. Jacina Hall sits down. Also coming back on Tashi Oglesby as Keelan McCurry comes out. Oglesby between the circles. Here's Bradbury out on the wing. Bradbury looking for Brogan O'Brien. Pass deflected, and Brewer comes up with the steal. So the Royals starting to force some turnovers. They got to get some buckets, though, on this end. 1 field goal so far. Cheney airballs it. Offensive rebound by Morgan, but she threw it away as Brogan O'Brien comes up the steal, but she traveled with the basketball. So Turnover gives the ball back to the Royals. 10:59 left to go. Owls leading by 10. Brewer to inbound. It's it right to Moore, and Moore banks it off the glass. Johnson University showing some press now. Oglesby throws it too high for Bodner into the forecourt. Was the ball deflected by the Royals? They say no, so a turnover for Warren Wilson. Keelan McCurry is going to come in as Lindsey Bodner will check out. We mentioned it's the start of a back-to-back for Warren. It's also start of a back-to-back for Johnson University. There's a two-point shot by Cheney, so back-to-back buckets for the Royals. Cut the Owls lead to 6. McCurry from Oglesby underneath Bradbury. All alone, lays it up and in. Here's a full court pass, Morgan, and putting it up and in is Moore. Good find by Morgan and a timeout by Warren Wilson. 30-second timeout, 10-12 left to go. We'll step aside. Welcome back, everybody. Well, we gave 2 points to Warren Wilson. That belonged to Johnson. So the correct score now on your screen, it's 14-8. Johnson University pressing. This is something the Owls have struggled with this season. Oglesby inbound to McCurry. McCurry to Shea Glenn. Gets it into the forecourt. McCurry over to Oglesby on the right wing. Oglesby, Glenn up top to Shea Glenn. Still leading the team, 13.9 points per ball game, short on that 3 ball. Moore comes up with the steal, or the rebound, and then to Shea Glenn with the steal, out to McCurry for 3, and she buries it. Keelan McCurry, 35% from downtown. Here's Cheney, steps into a jumper from 18, no good. Glenn with the rebound, ball tipped. Bradbury able to save it to O'Brien. Here's Glenn across the timeline, now to Oglesby in the corner. Tashi back to Glenn. Here's Bradbury, doubled up, back out. Oglesby, catch and shoot 3, an air ball, and that will go out of bounds. Oglesby came in shooting 40% from behind the arc, 0 for 2 tonight as Bradbury comes out. Sasha Miller comes back in. Jacina Hall returns as Shea Glenn will sit down. So good minutes for Bradbury, looking to get her footing back and just, get back into the flow of things. 4 points off the bench. Morgan up top. Cheney threw it away. Good defense by O'Brien, who comes up with the steal. Now McCurry into the forecourt for the Owls. To Hall. Hall up top. O'Brien on the right now. Under 9 to go. And Miller is bumped by Moore. That'll be team foul number 3 on the Royals. Stick around at halftime, folks. Player profile, we're going to talk with Renee Scherer. Renee and I spent about 12 minutes talking about music. Both of us very passionate about music, so if you like music, you'll want to stick around for that. Sasha Miller on the left. Here's Oglesby, open 3, can't get that one as Oglesby is off the mark here early. That ball went right out of bounds. Johnson will get it back. Royals started the game 1 for 9. They're now shooting 4 for 12 at 33%. The Owls at 41%. Owls have 6 steals in this ball game, 2 by Keelan McCurry. Here's Evans in the lane, gets it out. Cheney from downtown. Grazes the rim, nothing more. Oglesby with the rebound. Had it poked away, but good job by Tashi to stay with it. McCurry now will walk it into the front court for the Owls. Oglesby. It's the pass over to Miller on the right wing. Miller, cross court. O'Brien, turnaround shot, buries it from just inside the 3-point line. Brogan O'Brien gets on the board. That's O'Brien's second field goal all season. She's now 2 for 10. Good ball movement by the Royals there. Evans able to put it up and in. Hall, McCurry now into the forecourt. To Miller in the corner. Bounce past the Hall on the elbow. Fakes the jumper, drives in. Through it. Oglesby catches it. Gets it back from McCurry. Fires the three and banks it off the glass. Tashi Oglesby staying confident despite some early struggles. Gets her first three ball there. And it's 22-10. Shooters got to keep shooting, folks. That entry pass deflected by Miller and taken away by the Owls. Jacina Hall, 1-on-1, scoops it up and in. And the Owls with their biggest lead of the night, 24-10. Well, Johnson University came in 6-3, playing real well at the start of this season. But they are struggling here. Now Morgan from downtown can't get it to go. Hall with another rebound. And Hall pushes it into the forecourt. Hall left of the lane, into the lane, scoops it short, but she's bumped by Brewer. Well, Johnson University, that loss to Bob Jones, they committed 17 turnovers. Bob Jones had 10 steals in the game. Right now, the Owls have 7 steals with 6:41 to go here in the first half. So it's safe to say that Robin Martin and the bunch did some homework. A host of subs came in. We'll set the 5 for both teams. Renee Scherer, our halftime guest, checking in for the first time. Livia Bradbury back out there. Jacina Hall, 2 for 2 at the charity stripe. So they're on the court with Tashay Glenn and Keela McCurry. Meanwhile, Bayham came back in. Evans is out there with Carter, Hensley, and Brewer. That's the 5 for the Royals. Carter, top of the key, swings it over to Hensley on the left. Bayham, same spot now to Carter. And that shot is taken away by the Owls. Here's to Shea Glenn into the forecourt. To McCurry on the left, drives strong to the bucket. Her shot blocked by Evans out of bounds. 6:10 left to go in the first half. It has been all Warren Wilson here tonight. Hall the inbound with 21. The Bradbury puts it up too strong, and the rebound by Brewer. Now here comes the Royals. Brewer into the forecourt, swings it over to Hensley. Quick pass, Evans, turnaround shot from the right post, no good. Bradbury with the rebound. Glenn into the forecourt now for the Owls. McCurry between the circles. Right back to Shea. Bill's here. Jacina Hall kicks it out. Renee Scherer. Back over to Glenn. Hall. 10 to shoot now for the Owls. Jacina Hall tossed to McCurry. Back to Jacina for the shoot. Hall almost got it to go. Tip for the rebound, and it comes to Hensley. Hensley into the forecourt now. Dribbles to the left. Bounce pass to Brewer. Right back to Hensley. Takes it inside the lane. Her pass tipped by Scherer. Comes out to Brewer, though. Brewer on the left. Now Evans at the free throw stripe goes in to Bayham. Turnaround shot is up and good. To Shea Glenn now. Owls again able to beat the press. Looked relatively good against the press here tonight. Hall, Scherer, left post. Bounce past to Glenn on the wing. Glenn thought about the three. Now here's Hall. 9 to shoot for the Owls. Hall skies it for McCurry. Open three, no good. Rebound controlled by the Royals and Brewer. Here's Carter. Carter backs it out now. Over to Brewer. Open three, can't get it to go. Bradbury with the rebound. Well, that's one thing that Bradbury is going to provide instantly to the Owls. Warren Wilson being rebounded by an average of 9 per game. Bradbury returning should help those numbers. The Owls 31st out of 40 teams in the USCAA in rebounding margin. Turnover there by Warren Wilson, so the Royals in the front court with it now. Carter on the left wing. Under 4 to go in the half. Carter floats it up. Renee Scherer got the block, and Bradbury takes it away. Here's Glenn into the front court. Glenn to Bradbury at the free throw stripe. Scoops it to Hall. Quick pass to McCurry in the corner. Here's Bradbury. Goes around Bayham and draws the foul. So Livia Bradbury goes to the line. 61% free throw shooter. 15 foul on Johnson. Bradbury, first free throw, no good. 3 new players for the Owls. Lindsey Bodner, Brogan O'Brien, Tashi Oglesby joining Bradbury and Glenn out on the court. Bayham comes out. Coming on is Rawls. Evans leaves, and coming on is Moore for the Royals. Bradbury, second one is good, and the lead is 15 for the Owls, 27-12. Johnson University came in averaging 64.6 points per ball game. They've got 12 nearing the end of the half. Here's Rawls. Second effort, got it to go. The lead is 13. Inbound to Oglesby. Oglesby doubled up, and it goes off of Tashi, they say, out of bounds. Good defense by Carter there. In fact, the Royals are 6th in the NCAA in scoring at the D2 level through 9 games. Here's Moore. Turnaround shot left of the lane. Got it to go. And the lead is 11. Oglesby, Bodner. Bodner gets it into the forecourt, and Bodner is poked from behind. A reach, I believe, on Carter. Correction, it's on Moore. That's her second. 16 foul on Johnson, so the Owls will be in the bonus on the next offensive set foul. Under 3 to go. Glenn into the forecourt. Glenn shouting out orders to her teammates. Oglesby between the circles. Here's Bodner on the wing. Bodner to Glenn, same spot. 12 to shoot. Glenn, her pass deflected and taken away by Moore. Carter. Here's Hensley into the forecourt. Up top, Carter from downtown buries it. And just like that, the Royals on a bit of a run here. A lead which was 16 at one point is down to 8. Bodner is called for stepping on the line. So again, the Owls having trouble with the press. It's been a season-long problem for Warren Wilson. And no doubt the Royals got that memo. Bradbury comes out. O'Brien comes in. Here's Brewer on the left now. Moore in the corner. Out to Carter, and Carter traveled with the basketball. Turnover gives the ball back to Warren Wilson. With 2:07 left to play here in the half. It's a 9-1 run currently enjoyed by the Royals. Owls trying to change that here. Oglesby between the circles. Glenn on the right wing. Almost a foul on the reach by Brewer. Here's Glenn. Hall. Up top, Oglesby. Now Glenn on the left. 4 to shoot. Here's Tashi from downtown. Off the back of the rim, no good. Moore collects the rebound. And here come the Royals looking to further into the Owls' lead here. Carter on the left wing. Carter, spin move, turnaround shot, no good. Offensive rebound, and this one, she gets off the glass. 11-1 run by the Royals. Jacina Hall into the forecourt. The Owls have been stagnant on the offensive end as well. Not a lot of moving. Look, it's just Bodner's the only one doing anything. Glenn between the circles. Now Oglesby, 7 to shoot. That was deflected. 5 to shoot. Oglesby's got to throw it. That's deflected out of bounds, and the shot clock expires. So the Owls have gotten sloppy here late in this first half, and it's a 6-point lead for Johnson at 27-21. Keelan McCurry comes in. Tashi Oglesby will sit down. 17-second difference between game and shot clock here. Carter into the forecourt now for the Royals. Hensley between the circles. Back to Carter. Thought about the three. Instead to Smelser in the corner. Again, good ball movement. Here's Rawls. Hits it out. Smelser for three, and she buries it. 27-24. 14-1 run by the Royals, who have come right back in this ball game. Owls can hold for the final shot here. Bodner, right of the lane, into the lane. Too strong off the glass. Rebound by Hensley. Hensley into the forecourt with 7 seconds, and she traveled with the basketball. Turnover gives the ball back to Warren Wilson. 6.7 seconds left to work with for the Owls. Full court pass goes to Bodner. Bodner. Glenn heaves it with 3 seconds. No good. Put back attempt by McCurry. No good. And the Owls take a 3-point lead into the locker room, but Johnson takes all the momentum with them as they finish the half with a 14-1 run on the Owls. Well, as I mentioned, earlier in the offseason, had a chance to talk to Renee Scherer. Time for another Owls player profile. Then we'll be back with first half stats and second half play-by-play.
Welcome back. If you're watching at halftime, and for those of you watching on YouTube, my name's Chris, and this is another Owls player profile. Renee Scherer joining me. Hi, Renee. Thanks for giving us some of your time.
You're welcome.
So when I got into broadcasting, sports was third on the list of things that I wanted to do. Number one was I wanted to be a DJ. They don't really have those anymore. So I had to look for something else. The other, number two, I wanted to be a comedian. And I'm clearly not funny enough for that. So this is the third option. I've moved down on the list. I'm down to my emergency quarterback, so I chose sports broadcasting. But I'm really excited to talk to you because I know you're very musically inclined, and so that's what we're going to talk about today. Sound good?
Sounds great.
So tell me a little bit about your musical passions.
Should I hold this?
No, I got this. You just talk.
Okay. All right. Well, music is a huge part of my life. It does a lot of things for me. I don't know. I love singing. I love playing the guitar. And most of all, I just love listening to music. It pumps you up. It puts you in a good state of mind, and it can really do a lot for us all mentally. So it's a great thing in my life, and yeah.
You have done the national anthem a couple of times last year, I know for sure. Very good job on that. Do you play anywhere, or is it just something you kind of do just for you personally?
It's something I just do for me. I definitely grew up. I sang a lot growing up with my family and my friends, and in school it was just kind of something just went along with daily life. But no, I did the national anthem once, but that was really the first time that I put myself out there in front of a lot of people. I mean, I've done like little talent shows and stuff like that, but no, I don't know. It's just really, I just enjoy it, and the team got really pumped up because of it. So I loved that about it too. It really, yeah, it was fun.
That's exactly the point of music too, just like you were saying. So who do you like to listen to? What kind of genres? Let's start there.
To be honest, I really don't like that question because I listen to like the broadest range you could possibly think of.
I guarantee it's not broader than me. Do you have Phil Collins and Snoop Dogg in your phone?
Something along those lines, actually.
But that's always, and I'm glad you said you hated the question, because that tells me that you know something about music. When I ask that dumb question and people get back to me, I don't know, that's not really true, because Genre is something that is really kind of an open-end thing. I worked at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame for a long time when I lived in Cleveland, and people used to yell and scream at me all the time about Grandmaster Flash being inducted because he's a rap guy, and how dare rap get into the rock. These people think that all music is three white guys with guitars, bass, drum, but music is so much more, and rock and roll more specifically is so much more all-encompassing than that. So give me something that you're listening to right now.
Okay. Well, I can't think of anybody off the top of my head at the moment. I feel on the spot, but I would just say that.
We have time.
Oh, okay. Well, let me just sit here and think.
Watch cat videos. We'll be back.
I'm working on music with one of my friends. She's like at home right now, so not at the moment. But we like to make medleys of like some folk music and then some more popular pop culture hip hop songs too. So it sort of is like a combination and turns into our own stuff. But at the same time, I'm listening to like whatever comes up on Spotify, and I'm all into like just hearing new music all the time and hearing what my friends are listening to and grabbing that, and then going from there and spreading out. And I don't know, I listen to a lot of hip hop. I'm not gonna lie, it puts me in a great mood all the time, no matter what kind of mood I'm in. It's what I'm drawn to, honestly. But then again, I'll plug in my iPod and I'll listen to some folk music and really be okay.
I'm kind of like, I like Simon and Garfunkel, and I like Nas. But see, the people that I'm mentioning are all old. So I like, who's a good rapper right now? Who's good in the R&B world? I fell off of that wagon a long time ago, and I just was never able to. I think the last rap album I bought was Outkast's Sorry Mitch Jackson.
That's quality. That's quality. See, that's just because it's old doesn't say anything. I don't think there's restrictions.
Right.
I listen to Nas a lot, actually, that you just said that. And to be honest, I don't know who's like good right now. A lot of the stuff I listen to is old. And that's funny you said Simon and Garfunkel, because they're pretty popular in my car. And and yeah, I mean, I don't know who's really popular right now, who I would say is good, because I'm always going back and forth to old and new. And I love T.I. So I don't know if you know T.I., but I love T.I. I think he's a great rapper. But I'm all over the place. So
yeah, one of the great things about working in college basketball, especially women's college basketball, is you get more of the top 40 stuff. So I'll be doing this. Well, I'll be lucky if I'm doing this 40 years from now, but I'll still be hip, because I'll still know all of the cool stuff. My feeling about pop music is this, and you chime in after I'm done. When I grew up, when I was in college, it was a lot of Britney Spears, it was a lot of Fred Durst, it was a lot of just garbage. It was really bad time for pop music after the 90s, when you had this explosion of things like, like the rappers that we're talking about hip hop, about, all the Riot Girl feminists that I used to date back in the 90s. And then it just fell off, but I think it's getting good again now.
Yeah, I would actually agree. And a lot of stuff is talked bad about, like Katy Perry and all the sort of they're not really rising anymore. People who are top 40 right now, there's a lot of stuff that's talked really bad about them. But then again, there's Beyonce, and there's the people who people just automatically have as idols, and they can't really go wrong no matter what they do. But I would say like pop music, Britney Spears is really not in the picture, and I think to me that's a good sign. And I love that, like, not everybody, I would say that Beyonce is so huge, because I mean her feminism, like, just pathway right now is just really helpful for like everybody who's listening to music, which is a really young age at this point. I mean, 10-year-olds, regardless if they understand the message, it's great music, and they'll know it later in their lives. And it's just, I don't know, I think it's a good direction right now, in my opinion.
I don't want to. I got to check here and make sure we're not running over. We got plenty of time, so I'm going to use all of it, because I want to talk about music as much as possible. What was I going to say? Now I forgot. I was going to say What? I was going to say something about no, yeah, well, kind of about Beyonce, but more about the internet. And I don't know how old you are. I don't want you to tell me. That's a rude question to ask somebody. But I came into being a teenager into my early 20s around the Napster time. So I know what Napster did to music. And there's a lot of people, especially a lot of the old timers like Gene Simmons, who is a quote unquote rock and roll musician, quote unquote musician too, add the double quotes in there for him. But they say things like rock is dead and this is dead, and it's really not dead. It's just been fused into things like you're talking about, where you go folk and hip hop because you have access to more now. You have an access to more information, and Jay-Z said it in a commercial, but it doesn't make it any less true. He said, it's really interesting to see where this thing is going.
I mean, you're right about that. I mean, I feel like a while back, if I can just say that, I feel like when people were just listening to CDs, they have to listen to the whole CD, and then they have to change the CD if they want to, or a record, going back even more, a record or something like that, and they have to stick to that, and that's what they love, that's what they buy, so that's what they listen to. And now, I mean, you can put anything on a playlist, you can put anything on your iPod and have a complete different variation throughout. I mean, every time you listen to music, it can be something totally different. And sometimes I catch myself listening to country music, and then next thing I know, Lil Wayne's playing, and I'm just like, wow. I take a second, and I'm like, okay, that just happened. But then I'm like, I love these songs equally, and I'm really grateful for that too, because I sang in a lot of choirs and high school groups like that, and it was all really sort of closed in and couldn't really spread out. I mean, we did some more popular stuff, and it was cool, but not very often, and I always wanted to. So I think also a lot of people are doing covers now, and there's all these groups that will just do a song and take it and make it theirs. I mean, obviously you have to have permission and stuff, but that's really just showing that anyone can make really good music if they have that in them. And the fact that we're allowed to now and we have the ability to, it's just really exciting, because there are extremely talented people just on YouTube, and you can just listen to that and all of a sudden have that playing in your car, and it's great. We're just listening to more people now, and I mean, I feel for the people who aren't as famous anymore, who had all the fame, but
hopefully they had good people and they
yeah,
saved.
yeah, I mean, the times they change,
Yeah,
and
that's true.
yeah, so.
All right, listen, before we let you go, I want to know, what is the cheesiest song that you like?
Oh no.
The worst possible, god-awful, guilty pleasure song that Renee Scherer will listen to. We've gotten a lot of credibility with Simon and Garfunkel, with Nas. What's the bad stuff?
Oh gosh.
I'll tell mine, and then you think of yours while I'm telling mine, and you might want to get up and leave. But I mean, I grew up. My mom, took me everywhere, and she was in the car, and she was in the '80s pop. So I listened to a lot of bad '80s pop, like Paula Abdul. I will listen to Paula Abdul and love it because it reminds me. So that's my embarrassing story that's now on YouTube. Who is? Give me one cheesy one for you.
I'm just gonna straight off say Taylor Swift.
No, I love Taylor Swift. No, that's not cheesy at all. She's so good. It's so hard to be somebody who can churn out an album that every song is a hit and do it for 5 or 10 years.
Yeah, and everybody loves it.
No, you got to try again.
Okay, all right. Okay. Okay. Well,
I just said a 32-year-old heterosexual male that I like Paula Abdul. Come on.
I like her too, so I really wasn't judging.
All right, Paula, I'm gonna let you off the hook with that one. Paula, we love you. Come play Warren Wilson. You'll get a big crowd, I'm sure.
Yeah, definitely not judging. But yeah, I mean, I'm not really ashamed of the artists I like. I mean, I'll listen to Nicki Minaj too if that makes me any worse. So I'll just put that under the radar.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, on that note, Renee, we're gonna let you go. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for doing this. Let's talk more during the season.
All right, I look forward to it.
Renee Scherer, everybody. Everybody who is watching at halftime will have stats, and then second half action, and then if you're watching on YouTube, go watch some music. Go support.
Welcome back, everybody. Still at halftime. I still can't believe the way she left me hanging like that in that interview. Now, I know I'm not the only one that has that one song on your iPod or your phone or your CD player that if you hear it come on and you're around your friends, you want to hurry up and hit the pause button or turn the volume down or turn it to a new song. She left me hanging, folks. My thanks to Renee. It was good talking to her about music. Let's get to the first half numbers. It was a tale of two parts to the first half. The first part of the first half, Johnson University couldn't take care of the ball to save their lives. And in the second half of the first half, the same was true for Warren Wilson, who couldn't get the ball into the forecourt. So right now, a couple of different stats that stand out. Right now, the Royals are +7 on the boards, 21-14. Johnson University also outshooting Warren Wilson 41% to 35% as the Owls also went cold late in that first half. University started the game only 1 out of 9, but they really picked it up. Leading scorer in the first half for the Royals, Kaylee Carter, 2 out of 6, 5 points, 3 rebounds, 4 points for Ashley Rawls, 3 for Tiffany Smelser, and 2 apiece for Baham, Cheney, and Evans. 6 points off the bench for Whitney Moore, who leads the team in that category in 9 minutes to go along with 2 rebounds. For Warren Wilson, they were led by Jacina Hall, 3 out of 6 from the field, 9 points, 2 rebounds, an assist, and 2 steals. Off the bench, Olivia Bradbury, well, limited minutes. She played 11 out of the 20 in the first half. She's going to start here in the second. She's got 5 points and 3 rebounds. Keelan McCurry, 6 points in 16 minutes to go along with 2 assists, 2 steals. 2 points for Tashay Glenn on 1 for 5 shooting. 3 points for Tashi Oglesby. 2 points for Brogan O'Brien. That's the first half numbers. We're underway here in the second half. A kickball by Oglesby. So the Royals will inbound it here. Royals ended on a 14-1 run. Let's see if the Owls can pick it up again here in this second half. Here's Moore, who gets the start in the second. A turnaround 3 that goes in. That's when you know it's your night, folks. Whitney Moore from way downtown ties it up. Here's Oglesby. Floater. Can't get it back of the rim, and it's deflected out of bounds. Last touched by the Royals. So the Owls will inbound it here. Second possession. This is the first time we've been tied since it was 0-0. Hall inbound. McCurry on the left wing. Johnson University has never led in the ball game. Glenn on the right. It's been a 2-3 zone for the most part for the Royals here tonight. McCurry, top of the key. Oglesby couldn't catch the pass. And the Owls stay in their funk here as we start the second half. So Johnson University now with an opportunity to try to take their first lead of the ball game. Carter gets it into the front court. Royals in their royal blue. Owls in their home white. Baham over to Smelser from downtown. Off the back of the rim, no good. Fight for the rebound. And Carter gets it top of the key. Now to Moore. Turnaround shot, no. But Hensley with the offensive rebound. Out to Carter from downtown. Off the back of the rim, no good. And the tipped rebound comes to McCurry. Throws full court for Oglesby, who puts it too strong off the glass. But Tashi is fouled, and she will go to the free throw stripe. Smelser picks up the foul. It's her first. And the first foul of the second half on the Royals. Oglesby, first free throw up and in. Owls go back up by 1. That ends a 17-1 run by the Royals. Oglesby can't get the second. Tip rebound comes to Hensley. And here come the Royals. Throw full court to Smelser. Smelser on the right wing. Up top, Hensley. Hensley drives into the lane. Out to Moore. Moore drives to the bucket. Too strong off the glass. And Good box out by Hall. Out to Shea Glenn. Glenn on the left wing. To Oglesby in the corner. Back out. Shea from downtown. Can't get it to go. She's off. 1 out of 6 on the night now. Hensley with the rebound. Throws to Carter in the front court. Carter steps into the jumper. Rims it in. And the Royals take their first lead of the night at 28. Or 29, excuse me. 28. Oglesby into the forecourt. Jacina Hall. Throws to McCurry on the left wing. Here's Glenn up top. Bradbury right at the lane. Gets it out to Jacina. Hall drives into the lane, scoops it up, and gets the roll. So the first lead of the night is a short one for the Royals as the Owls get the lead back. Full court press again. Hensley able to get it into the front court. Smelser on the right side. Here's Moore. Turnaround shot. Got it to go. Not much the Owls can do against Moore. She's got a lot of size on Wilson. Aside from Bradbury, nobody that can really cover her. Bradbury's been on Bayham. Glenn top of the key. Bradbury at the free throw stripe. Drives right at the lane. Doubled up. Out to Hall. Thought about the three. Back to Bradbury. Kicks it over to McCurry. Quick pass. Oglesby swings it right wing to Hall with 5 to shoot. Hall gets a screen. Floats it up. Can't get it to go. But a mistake by Moore, I believe, who got a piece of her arm. So Jacina Hall will go to the free throw stripe for 2 shots. Jacina Hall, 2 out of 2 from the charity stripe tonight. That's the 3rd foul on Moore. She's going to come out after this free throw. Hall gets it to rim in. So it'll be Evans to come in for the Royals as Moore has to sit down with those 3 fouls. Hall, second free throw, rims in again, and the Owls go back up. A ping-pong match here in the second half as back and forth we go, 3.5 minutes in. Bounce pass to Smelser, gets it into the forecourt to Evans. Swings it left wing, Hensley. Hensley lost the dribble. Glenn tries for the steal. Players diving for it. Is Glenn and Carter. Jump ball called, and the Owls will get it. This is the start of a back-to-back for Warren Wilson. They'll host Mid-Atlantic Christian University tomorrow at 2 p.m. The Mustangs are 0-8 right now and dead last in the USCAA in turnovers. Here's Glenn to Oglesby on the right side. Looking for the cutter, Bradbury. Bradbury drives into the lane and gets it off the glass. Strong move by Lilvia. Bradbury now with 7 points. And we have a carry by Carter. So a turnover for the Royals here as the Owls starting to get some momentum back in this one. Biggest lead for Warren Wilson was 16 points. And that came about 6:41, I think, was left on the clock in the first half. Here's Bradbury right at the lane. Scoops it to McCurry out on the wing. Cross court, Oglesby. Oglesby to Hall in the corner. All doubled up. Ball tipped, and it goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Royals. So Jacina Hall's going to inbound it in that awkward corner spot. Gets it to McCurry. And McCurry will set things up with 10 to shoot for the Owls. Here's Oglesby, back to Keela. Throws to Glenn on the left wing, 5 to shoot. Glenn to Hall. Hall from way downtown, grazes the rim, nothing more. Smelser with the rebound. Smelser into the forecourt, gives it to Evans. Turnaround shot rejected by Glenn. Glenn into the forecourt for Warren Wilson. Nice defense in this ball game from Glenn, who has a couple of steals and a block now. Here's McCurry on the left. Oglesby up top. Glenn, open baseline jumper. Got it! So the Owls on a 6-0 run here. Carter into the forecourt. Carter, poked away again by Glenn. Bradbury comes up with it. More stellar defense from Shea Glenn. Here's McCurry, open three. Can't get that one to go, though. And the rebound controlled by Hensley. Hensley bounce passes it to Smelser in the forecourt on the right wing. Smelser looking for Evans. Gets it to her right of the lane. Up top, Carter. All day from downtown. Can't get it to go, but Rawls with the offensive rebound. Carter, floater in the lane. Count it. And the foul. So the rebounding troubles continue for the Owls. Bradbury's going to come out. Brogan O'Brien will come in for her. And it's Kaylee Carter going to the line to try to complete an old school three-point play. Carter can't get it to go. Hall collects the rebound for Jacina. That is rebound number 3. Here's McCurry. Now Glenn. Hall in the lane, and she got tied up. Jump ball is called, and we will go the opposite direction. Lindsey Bodner on. Tashi Oglesby will sit down. Bodner. 27 points in the last 2 games. So far tonight, Lindsey has been shut out. Smelser fires it from way outside, no good. And another rebound for Jacina Hall, her 5th. McCurry into the forecourt for Warren Wilson. 13:29 left to go in the ball game. Owls clinging to a 3-point lead. O'Brien turnaround shot, grazes the rim, and that's all. Hensley with the rebound. Hensley will bring it across the timeline into the forecourt and promptly threw it away. Miscommunication between her and Rawls there. Sasha Miller checking in. Jacina Hall will get a breather. Keela McCurry into the forecourt for the Owls, looking to expand on a 3-point lead. Sit out to Miller. Miller, right of the lane, cut off, looking to get it to Glenn. Glenn floats it up short. Rebound controlled by Evans, and they're going to call to Shea on a reach. That will be team foul number 2 for Warren Wilson. Both teams with 2. First foul on to Shea Glenn here in the ball game. Sub for Johnson University, Brewer coming in for Hensley. Brewer catches the inbound. Smelser looking for some help. Back to Brewer. Brewer throws it to Carter in the forecourt. Carter steps into a jumper from 14. Around the rim, no. And it goes out of bounds off of Rawls. So Rawls almost had the offensive rebound, but the Owls will get it back here. Surprised to see Johnson has backed off the press. Glenn walks it into the forecourt now. Looking for Bodner. Almost a steal by Brewer. Bodner scoops it over to McCurry on the left. Now Glenn looking in for O'Brien, and Rawls is going to be called on a reach. Team foul number 3 on the Royals. Mentioned it's a back-to-back for the Owls, who host Mid-Atlantic Christian tomorrow afternoon. Back-to-back for the Royals as well. They go to Salem College tomorrow at 2 p.m. Those back-to-back road games, especially when you have to play at night, and then the next day is it's a tough. Glenn lost the dribble, a tie-up, jump ball is called, and the possession arrow favors Warren Wilson. So we'll stay on this side of the court. 20 on the shot clock for the Owls. Bodner will inbound it left of the basket. And folks, because we have that doubleheader, we're going to be back on tomorrow. And because I'm still got a little strep throat, no post game after today's game, so no player interviews today. We'll see how I feel tomorrow. Maybe we'll do one tomorrow if the Owls can beat the Mustangs. Here's Miller on the left wing, up top to Glenn. Back to Miller on the elbow. Bounce pass out to McCurry on the right. McCurry skies it for Glenn. 10 to shoot for the Owls now. Glenn to Miller. Miller fires it. Air ball. Bodner there with the offensive rebound. And she gets the putback. So Lindsey Bodner with her first 2 of the night. And the Owls back up by 5. Here come the Royals. Now Evans at the free throw stripe. Scoops it out. Carter top of the key. Right side. Brewer from way outside. That was short, but chasing it down is Rawls. And right now the Royals just want the basketball more than the Owls do. It's as simple as that. That was a hustle play. It's got nothing to do with skill and rebounding technique. That was straight up hustle. Owls get a turnover, but give it right back here as Evans collects a steal. So Brewer now into the forecourt. Here's Carter up top. Over to Brewer on the right. Back to Carter. Swings at left wing. Smelser. Smelser fakes the 3. Steps inside the arc. Takes the jumper. No good. Tip for the rebound. Good box out by McCurry that time. Out to Bodner. Lost the dribble. Had a 2-on-1. And we have a timeout by the Owls as Bodner was caught on an island. Timeout on the court. We'll step aside. 10:58 left to go. Owls leading by 5. Take a look at the upcoming broadcast schedule tomorrow. Women taking on the Mustangs here at 2 p.m. Then Monday, it's the men taking on Bob Jones at 7. And on Tuesday, the women back at home against Toccoa Falls at 7. Back to live action. Owls with the basketball out of the timeout. Chris Schiemann, glad to be back with you here in Swannanoa. Owls have led for most of this ball game. Royals have had a couple of one-point leads. Justina Hall with 4 to shoot. Floats it up, no good. Carter with the rebound, and Carter turning on the Jets. Good job by the Owls to get back on defense. Carter almost stripped and able to get the pass out to Brewer. Brewer now to Carter between the circles. Still 12 to shoot for the Royals here. Rawls in the corner. Carter fakes the 3, drives into the lane. Leaves it for Smelser with 4, puts it up short, tip for the rebound, it comes to Tashay Glenn. Glenn looking to push now for the Owls. Glenn into the front court, drives right at the lane, puts it up and in. Tashay with 2 more. Johnson down by 7 now with the basketball. Brewer. Evans. Smelser open for 3, can't get it to go. And Hall with another good box out and a rebound. Here's Glenn into the forecourt. Glenn, oh, what a move. Floats it off the glass, too strong, and the rebound collected by Rawls. So an A for the move for Tashay, but couldn't get the bucket. Here's Brewer on the right wing. Carter, cross-court, Smelser, drives left to the lane, kicks it out to Rawls. Open baseline jumper from 18, gets it to go. So the lead is 5 again. Bodner. Now Hall will walk it into the forecourt. There's Miller in the corner. Miller drives into the lane, almost had it poked away. Ball tipped, deflected, and taken by Carter. Carter one-on-one with Bodner, and Bodner fouled her. And Carter grabbing her knee there. So Bodner called for her first foul. As Carter remains down, we will step aside. So Carter is helped off the court. And somebody's going to have to come in and shoot free throws for her. Will be out, and with 8:58 left to go in a game coming up tomorrow, they might just hold her out here. We'll see. She's frustrated, but walking under her own power over on the bench, so that's good news if you're a Royals fan. Lindsey Bodner, as soon as she fouled, make sure she was all right. Obviously no harm intended there for Lindsey, just trying to prevent the shot from being taken. And Carter fell awkwardly, looked like right on her kneecap onto the floor. So we'll see as she gets looked at by the trainer coming in. Cheney will shoot the free throws for her as Cheney misses the first one short. Both teams, by the way, with 3 team fouls apiece, so it's been a pretty clean game in terms of fouls as Cheney gets 1 out of 2, and the Owls lead is down to 4 now at 40-36. This is a defensive game. Lilvia Bradbury back out there looking for some help, throws it to Hall. Hall will get it into the forecourt to O'Brien, who's all alone and lays it up and in. So Brogan O'Brien had 1 field goal in the Owls' first 8 games. She's got 2 here tonight. Owls up by 6 now. Here is Cheney from Bayham. Hensley back to Cheney. Right back to Hensley. Tosses it over to Brewer in the corner. Cheney, this time she'll shoot it and hit. So the lead is 3. It's been a tight second half. Owls able to break the press. Jacina Hall, bounce pass to O'Brien. Turnaround shot too strong. Off the rim. Brewer with the rebound. Brewer looking to push now. Brewer on the right wing. It's at the Cheney, same spot. This time she's short on it. Bradbury trying to collect the rebound, and Cheney a little over-aggressive there as she commits the foul. It will be the 4th on the Royals. Set the 5 on the court as Tashay Glenn comes back in. Glenn checks in. She's in the backcourt with Jacina Hall and Keela McCurry. Tashi Oglesby, Lilvia Bradbury up front. That's the 5 for the Owls. For the Royals, Brewer, Hensley. Now here's McCurry from downtown. Buries it. Big bucket by the Owls there. So Hensley, Brewer, Cheney all in the backcourt. Bayham and Evans with the ball here, the 5 on the court. Evans misses the shot, ball tipped by McCurry as she dives into the crowd. So we'll stay with Johnson University. Inbound goes to Hensley. 7:19 left to go. Over to Brewer. All alone for 3. Can't get it to go. Rebound bounces to Cheney. And then Cheney lost it out of bounds. So the ball goes back to the Owls, who lead it by 6 and looking for more here. Owls defense came in allowing 72 points per ball game. Bradbury, shot blocked, last touch by Cheney. In fact, the Owls have allowed over 75 times this year in the first 8 games. They allowed over 70 just 4 times all of last season. But the defense has played well here today. Can the offense put the lid on this one? Here's McCurry out to Oglesby, back to Keela, to Shea Glenn. Open from downtown, off the back of the rim, no good. And they say it hit the wire up top. So that means it's out of bounds. Ball goes back to the Royals, 6:44 left to go. The Royals out here. Cheney into the forecourt. To Morgan. Morgan out near midcourt. Morgan gets it to Evans right at the lane. Up top to Morgan all day from 3. Can't get it to go. Ball tipped to Shea Glenn. Gets the rebound. Boy, you almost hold your breath on every miss by the Royals as the Owls having trouble rebounding. Glenn. Oglesby traveled with the basketball. Turnover gives the ball back to the Royals with 6:11 left to go. And coming back on for Johnson U, Evans will sit down, and Whitney Moore, who the Owls haven't had an answer for yet, comes in. She does have 3 fouls, though. Royals able to break the press. Morgan swings it to Cheney on the right. Cheney looking to dump it into Moore. Turnaround shot off the back of the rim, no, and Oglesby flies in for the rebound. Here's Hall into the forecourt. Keela on the left, back to Jacina, over to Oglesby on the right. Now Glenn, baseline jumper, no good. Rebound controlled by Cheney and the Royals. Cheney into the front court. Bounce pass over to Morgan. Up top, Cheney from downtown, and that is an air ball right out of bounds. Well, that's been the one weak spot for the Royals so far this season. Shooting just 21% from behind the arc. They are 6th in the NCAA in field goal percentage at near the bottom in terms of three-point shooting. That's been the Owls' bread and butter this year, three-point shooting. Here's Hall. Oh, nice pass to Bradbury. Open jumper, and that is automatic for Lilvia. Lead out to 8 now for Warren Wilson. Under 5 to go. Moore throws it to Brewer. Brewer thought about the 3. Instead goes up top to Cheney. Swings it right wing to Morgan. And Keela McCurry picked her pocket. McCurry into the forecourt on the far side of your screen to Bradbury. Tip pass out to Oglesby. Swings it to McCurry right up top to Hall. Thought about it. Instead tosses it to Glenn. Here's Bradbury. Bradbury, turnaround shot off the glass and in. The Owls with their biggest lead of the second half, 49-39. Here's Cheney into the forecourt underneath Bayham all alone, and that's no trouble for her. Taylor Bayham, 13.9 points per ball game, coming in, gets 2 there. Tashay Glenn is fouled from behind by Morgan. So Glenn will, that's team foul number 5, so the Owls will inbound it. Tiffany Smelser coming in as Julie Cheney will sit down for the Royals. Inbound to McCurry. Oglesby on the left. Keela right back to Oglesby. Oglesby skies it for Glenn. Glenn left block. Right back to Tashi. McCurry on the right. Oglesby drives into the lane, floats it up, and gets it to roll in. Owls back up by 10. Here's Morgan into the forecourt. Gives it to Smelser. Here's Moore. Pass tip but comes to Morgan. Morgan's pass deflected out of bounds. So with 18 to shoot, Smelser will inbound it right of the basket. Comes into Bayham, and Bayham puts it up and in. Another easy bucket for her. And it's 8 again. Glenn looking for some help. There's it to Oglesby. It's deflected, but Jacina Hall is there. Here is Glenn, top of the key. Glenn, Oglesby, Hall now on the left with 9 to shoot. Hall directs traffic. Here's McCurry. Glenn with 4. Looking for Bradbury. Bradbury has to hoist it. It grazes the rim. Rebound controlled by Moore. Royals trying to string some buckets together again. Here is Bayham looking underneath. Moore puts it up, no good. Rebound by Bradbury. 2:36 left to go. Owls looking for their 3rd win at home. McCurry all alone for 3, can't get it to go. And Smelser will let it go out of bounds. So 2:25 left to go. Still well within range for the Royals here, as we're going to get a timeout by Warren Wilson. It's a full timeout, so we will step aside. 2:25 left to go. Owls looking for win number 4 on the year. We'll be back. Another look at the upcoming broadcast schedule. Saturday, Monday, Tuesday games coming up. Tomorrow we'll be back in action. The ladies taking on MacU, trying to finish off business here tonight first. That MacU game certainly a winnable one for the Owls. Johnson University providing all Warren Wilson can 16 in the first half. Nice play there by Bayham, who's got 6 here in the last couple of minutes. Underneath, the pass goes to Oglesby. Oglesby waits for the defender to go and puts it up and in. Nice job by Tashi, the wait there. Oglesby gets the bucket. The Owls back up by 8 again. And now we have a traveling call, so a mental error there for the Royals with under 2 to go. That's a big turnover. Hall with the inbound to Shea Glenn in the forecourt. And the Owls will no doubt run some clock here. Bradbury's came out after that timeout, by the way. Brogan O'Brien came in. Oglesby. Now McCurry, O'Brien. And again, the Owls in no particular hurry. Jacina Hall drives in, scoops it up, but traveled with the basketball. So back-to-back turnovers. Royals will get it back. Still time, but Johnson's got to score on just about every possession now. Here's Morgan into the forecourt. Smelser on the right side. Moore from downtown. It's good. Timeout, Johnson University. A 5-point game with 1:19 left to go. It's a 30-second timeout. So we're going to keep it right here. Do the game reset. Neither team really even close to the bonus right now. Johnson University with 5 team fouls. The Owls with only 3. 2-possession game. The possession arrow favors the Royals. 1:19 left to go. Let's see what Robin Martin and company draw up in this huddle. And try to answer that 3 ball by Moore. Moore, by the way, Whitney Moore, 14 points off the bench for the Royals here tonight. So Hall to inbound. Royals in the full court press again. Bradbury's checked back in. McCurry, Bradbury. Bradbury gets it into the forecourt. Here's McCurry. Now she'll wait for Hall to come into the picture. To Shea Glenn. McCurry. Now still trying to run some clock here. Oglesby. Gets it out to Keela on the right. Glenn, top of the key. 8 to shoot. Glenn to Hall. Hall left of the lane, drives into the lane, and a blocking foul as Hall misses it short. So Moore did not have position. That's her 4th foul. Team foul number 6 as Hall goes to the line for 2 shots. Jacina Hall, perfect at the line tonight. 5 out of 5 as she gets that first one to go. The lead is 6. Now this can make it a 3-possession game here. And she does. 51.7. Royals got to go quick now. Into the forecourt, it's Brewer. Brewer guarded by Oglesby. Bounce passes it out to Morgan, and we have a timeout by the Royals first. So 41 seconds on the clock. We'll step aside here for a moment. Come right back. Chris Sheeman back here at Warren Wilson. Owls looking to close out the Royals here. 41 seconds left to go. Johnson's got to score quickly here out of this timeout. Comes to Morgan. Morgan, Smelser on the left. Johnson needs some urgency here. Bayham underneath Moore, got the bucket, and we will have, I believe, another timeout for Johnson. So 31.7, another timeout. We will step aside again as this one is a full timeout. Back to live action. Jacina Hall throws full court for Tashay Glenn. And Glenn gets bumped, count it, and the foul. Big time play to Tashay Glenn. Brewer picked up the foul. And boy, if you're going to foul in that situation, you have to make sure the shot does not get off. So Glenn trying to complete the old school three-point play. Can't do it. Rebound controlled by Moore. Under 30 seconds to go in the ball game now. Royals up against it here. Not if Brewer can hit this three, though. She does. And again, timeout, Royals. 21 seconds left to go. Johnson University is hanging around. We'll step aside again. Royals down to their final timeout with 21.8 left on the clock. Jacina Hall will inbound. Still a two-possession ball game. Johnson will look for the quick steal here, and then if not, a foul. Tashay Glenn is bumped by Brewer. So only a couple of seconds come off the clock. That's about what you want if you're the Royals. So Glenn back at the line. Tashay Glenn during the season, by the way, shooting 79% from the free throw stripe. She's the best in that category for Warren Wilson. So this is, in theory, who you want to be shooting these free throws. 1-and-1. First one up and in for Tashay. Even if she makes it, though, it's still technically a two-possession game if the Royals think three here. So 59-53, Johnson's got to go quickly here. Morgan into the forecourt. Morgan drives to the bucket, and Bayham gets the bucket. What is Jacina Hall doing there? Hall commits the foul, and Bayham goes to the line. She can complete the three-point play and make it a one-possession game. Well, you just can't have that kind of foul from your senior. Well, let's see what the Owls can do here. Glenn gets fouled, 5.7 left to go. And now, if Glenn can get just one of these, that should wrap it up. Should. Let's put the emphasis on that word. Again, folks, no post-game today. We're going to sign off as soon as we're done here. Tashay Glenn trying to put the frosting on the cake for the Owls here tonight. Front end of the 1-and-1 is good, and that should do it. Barring something unforeseen, the Owls should win their fourth of the season here. Glenn, second one also good for an exclamation point. Smelser with 3 seconds. Smelser fires it. It's no good, and the Owls get the victory. Warren Wilson 3-1 at home and 4-5 on the season, defeating Johnson University here tonight 61-56. So the Owls a big victory and a good test from a good Royals team. Tomorrow they will take on Mid-Atlantic Christian. We'll have that one for you at 2 p.m. as we get one final look at the upcoming broadcast schedule. So that'll do it, folks. From us here at Warren Wilson, your final score, Warren Wilson 61, Johnson University 50.